Hi, I'm Libby Gibson, Town Manager. Welcome to What's Going On in Town Government. Gina, we had a slow BOS meeting last night.
Yeah.
For a change. Last night at the board meeting, we had a couple of announcements. I know I probably sound like a broken record, but the 2012 annual town meeting starts on Saturday, March 31st at 8:30 a.m., bright and early. There will be snacks and lunch available, you know, not in the auditorium, but in the hall of the great hall of the school, and lunch in the cafeteria that you can purchase. There is an info sheet on the town website under town meetings that you can look at for the kind of day's events. Well, I mean, you know, it's the event, not events. And then the annual town election is 2 weeks later. It's on Tuesday, April 10th. Polls are open at the high school from 7 a.m. to 8 p.m. The next session of a Citizen Police Academy, we've had one session with, I think, 12 participants, starts next week. You may contact the police department, Chris Carnevale, I believe, for information.
What is it?
Well, it is I think a 9-week program. I hope I'm getting this right. On Thursday evenings from 6 p.m. to 9 p.m. And they take you through the building. They take you through all of the police stuff and tell you how they operate, basically. So, and you could also, when you're done, or not even when you're done, you don't even have to go through it. I mean, of course we want people to go through it, but we're also always looking for interested people to be VIPSs, Volunteers in Police Services. Those are the people that sit at the little info desk in the lobby there.
Yeah.
So anyway, that's
nice.
Starts soon. Jeff from NCTV gave us an update about his website. So that is up and running now. Pending contracts, we had a couple. The board appointed citizens to the Coastal Management Plan Work Group. This is something that was set up by the board a month or so ago, and we've been advertising and looking for applicants. This group will work on an outline and a report and a bunch of other things relating to the development and finally adoption by the board of a coastal management plan. The mission statement of the group is online and will be getting their first meeting underway shortly, probably within the next 2 or 3 weeks. The Island Home came in and gave a quarterly report, their second quarterly report for fiscal 12 of their budget. We had an open meeting law complaint we were supposed to discuss, but that's been tabled a week to March 21st. Habitat for Humanity has come in. They have this lemonade stand event, Make a Stand for Habitat. On August 4th, they're going to have up to 35, I think, lemonade stands around the island. Remember? And so you're supposed to go to one. And they did it last year. This year they came in for sort of official approval because, you know,
right.
I know people don't want to hear this, but technically lemonade stands are illegal, according to the town bylaw. We tend to overlook them because they are relatively harmless and it's a nice thing for kids and stuff. But they came in to get sort of endorsement of this project, which they received. They also have an event at Tom Nevers Park later that day on August 4th. The board also discussed Article 11 of the 2012 annual town meeting, which is an appropriation for the renovation of 20 South Water Street. The Finance Committee has given that article a negative recommendation, and the board has decided not to object to that recommendation.
So what happens to it?
Well, unless somebody calls it and it gets a positive motion and it's voted, it would then be taken up at the election 2 weeks later. But if it doesn't pass and nobody calls it, then it just dies a quiet death. The board agreed, though, that it is an important project and we need to maybe educate the public a little bit better and get more citizens involved in helping with that effort. So we're going to focus over the next year on doing that. And also there was an issue that the Finance Committee had with the town's debt service policy, so we'll re-examine that. So that was pretty much it.
How's our Island Home doing?
Oh, our Island Home is doing fine. You know, there's a generous subsidy from the general fund for the Island Home. It does not sustain itself, even though it is an enterprise fund. But, I mean, as far as I know, it's a subsidy that the town agrees to provide because of the service that the Island Home gives. There are a lot of island people that are residents and their families visit them. And, you know, it's a wonderful facility, and they've just gotten There's an annual survey from the Department of Public Health. They did have a couple of deficiencies, but nothing related to patient care, paperwork types of things. It's rare to get away from the Department of Public Health without a deficiency, but the island home has been deficiency-free in some years. But this was more just of a paperwork, oh, you didn't fill out this particular form kind of thing. They're very well rated in the nursing home industry. So they're doing well. It's a town-owned
It's not a private
facility. It's not
facility.
private.
Wow.
It is not. There's only maybe one, possibly two other municipally operated nursing homes in the state. So, and we've looked at, preliminarily anyway, options in which to divest ourselves of the island home. Give it away, not give it away, but have the operation of it, maybe the ownership of it, transferred to a private group. But so far, and we do have financial analysis of this, it's not a profit, the way it is currently set up and the number of beds that it has, it is not a profit-making operation. It just isn't set up that way. Could somebody set it up that way? Maybe, but they're going to need.
Why would they do it if they didn't set it up that way?
Exactly, and they're going to need. We would need to understand if we are going to sell the land or lease the land. There is a collective bargaining contract issue. The facility itself is an institutional model. Those types of nursing homes are not even built anymore. So somebody would probably want to completely overhaul it, redo it, tear it down, put up something else. And they're not going to go through that expense without some changes.
Would the townspeople have a say on?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Oh,
It
yes.
wouldn't be something that the
It
board
wouldn't be
would
something,
just decide they
no,
would do?
no. And we would certainly want to get together a group of stakeholders and even objective parties that would help sort of craft a plan or options that would be explored, things like that. So that's on the radar screen, but so far it hasn't really reached the level, quite honestly, of a crisis. So it hasn't gone too much farther. Plus there's resource and time and priority issues. Anyway, that's the island home. I'm going to the island home, as a matter of fact, tomorrow at noontime, 12:30, to issue years of service pens. If you remember, we have been annually, the board issues years of service pens to employees, 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, and higher pens once a year at a board meeting. However, the people who can't make it to the meeting, I try to go to their departments and issue the pens myself. So I have been kind of busy, so I think the board did these pens in October.
Oh, yeah, you got to get over there.
So I've got to get over there in a big way. So I'm going tomorrow. And the administrator, Rachel Cretion, is also going to get a little something from me. It's a little certificate because she's been honored by I'm not even going to say the group because I can't remember, a nursing home related industry group. Anyway, so that's that. The board's agenda for next week, the 21st. We have a pretty big agenda, but it's not, I don't think we're going to get necessarily hung up on anything, but you never know. We have our same announcement about town meeting starting on Saturday. We have some consultants. The town is required to conduct a biennial, which is every 2 years, review of post-employment benefits, other post-employment benefits, and this is mostly health insurance related. And anyway, the board asked last, maybe November, December, could we have the consultants come and review with us their findings, which are included in the audit report. But the board wanted to hear a little bit more directly from the consultants. So we're having them come in and give a little talk about GASB 45 is what it's called, Government Accounting Standards Board, Item 45. I mentioned at the meeting last night, we tabled an open meeting law complaint discussion to next week, so that's on. We are sadly accepting, or I guess maybe, accepting the resignation of Brenda Johnson from the Council on Aging. Her new work schedule does not allow her to attend the meetings on a regular basis. The Chamber of Commerce is coming in for approval of a public assembly permit for the annual Daffodil Parade, as well as a request for a waiver of the section in the town code which prohibits the consumption of alcohol on public property for the
What does that
picnic. It basically means that people are allowed to consume alcohol on public property for the duration of this picnic that happens out in Wisconsin. We do it every year. It's not
So
a big
that
deal.
means they're not going to You can actually do it now?
Well, Gina, you've been able to do it for a while now. This is how
Oh,
we've
but
dealt with it.
I
There
thought
was
it
a
was
period
just-
of
yeah.
well, there was a period of time, and there's usually a little bit of objection to the idea of open public consumption of alcohol on anyway. But you know, this is kind of it's a tradition, I guess I would say.
Yeah, right, exactly.
It's hard
That's
to
exactly how you put
Yeah.
it. It is a tradition.
yeah.
So it's, okay.
So anyway, so they've been coming in to request this waiver for the last few years, and the board's been granting it. We have 14 public hearings next week. It is public hearing Wednesday, so get ready. We have a couple of telephone petitions. We have
Telephone petition.
yeah, these are the telephone company and sometimes
Oh.
the electric company. Actually, these are electric company petitions, I think. They come in for poles and handholds and installations of pipe and
Oh, yeah.
stuff like that. A lot of it is customer generated. Somebody doesn't want a pole near their property anymore. They want it moved, or they want it underground, something like that. That seems to be what these might relate to.
Yeah.
We also have a public assembly permit for the Nantucket Wine Festival. That'll be held at the Yacht Club on May 19th and 20th. I think this is, I don't know how many years they've been doing it, a number of years. We have a bunch of common victualler and liquor licenses. One is for a common victualler license for a new place called the Pit Stop. This is at 12 Nobodere Farm Road. I believe it is replacing the Thai food outfit at the Trading Post building on Nobodere Farm Road. Chris Morris.
Oh, really?
Yes. Chris Morris is going to run it. It is going to be a barbecue style takeout.
Good idea.
Yeah. Can't wait to try that.
I've always thought we should have some sort of barbecue place.
Have you?
I was going to call it, you know what I was going to call it?
What?
Pig outs.
Okay.
That's not really Nantucket though, is it?
No.
That's something you find in the deep south.
Well, yeah. Was the
Yeah.
dancing pickle Nantucket?
That's true.
I shouldn't say something like that.
No, but
Here's something interesting. The Hub is seeking a common victualler license. Not really for lots of food, but mostly coffee.
I heard that.
Yes, interesting.
That's a good idea.
Now, someone else mentioned to me they used to have coffee in there back in the day. I don't know when, a long time ago. But
Are they going to have seats?
no, no
Okay,
seats,
then
takeout
you
only.
can't okay, just take out.
The restaurant Pazzo is seeking an entertainment license. There's going to be a new place, I think as we all by now know, because I think this was in the paper last week, at where Size was, called
Yeah.
the Sea Dog Brew Pub.
Oh, yeah.
They're seeking a common victualler license and a liquor license, and an entertainment license. And then we have the place on Main Street that's replacing Even Keel, Met on Main.
Sounds fancy.
Sounds fancy. They are seeking a common vic license and a liquor license. And lastly, we have a package store license, wine and malt only, not all alcohol, for Bartlett's Farm.
So they've never sold beer and,
No.
and wine?
Mm-mm.
Interesting.
Yes, so they're seeking a license for that. And then we have the 2012-13 seasonal liquor license renewal. So there's a whole bunch of those.
Oh,
That's it.
yeah.
So as you can see, it's a lot, but much of it is replacements and, stuff that's just a little bit new, or not totally new.
Right.
So that's for next week. Gino, I have not seen the helicopter yet at Tom Nevers, and you haven't either.
No.
I'm waiting to see it. Of course,
Yeah.
I haven't actually been out to Tom Nevers. I've heard it, I think. I think I've heard it.
Okay.
But other people said they've saw it, and it's kind of cool, hovering over the trees and very, very, very close to the ground, which they told us they would have to do that. So what else is going on in town government? We are working on the final sort of touch-up to town meeting. It's not that much different in terms of setup because we're having it on a Saturday, but there's a little bit. And we still have last-minute touches to do to the warrant and technical amendments and things like that. And I know people get aggravated and annoyed with technical amendments, as do we, but they are just inevitable. There's no getting around it. And it's important that you get it right. So that's what these last couple of weeks are, getting it right. And I think that's about it.
Okay.
Have you finished the One Book, One Island
Not yet.
book?
Which book is that?
The Maltese Falcon.
Ooh,
I w-
that's a great book.
Mr. Kelly, who's also on the finance committee and works with the Athenaeum, was kind enough to get me a copy of it, and I've been trying to get through it. It's a little bit, what's the word?
Don't say it. Arduous.
Did we already talk about this?
No, I've used that word with you before.
It's a little bit arduous. I hate not finishing a book, though, so I'm trying. I have digressed to a different book. Sometimes I do that, and then I'll go back and read a few pages, and then I'll go to a different book, and then I'll come back.
Okay.
So it may be a year or two before I finish the Maltese Falcon. But okay, Gino, thank you very much. See you next time.